dads that came back to the hobby.
Hello.
Yeah.
I
I'll be a
have
strays is going to be
returned.
my kid when it arrives. I'm going
Okay.
to need a stroller for it anyway to bring it to games.
On that wonderful note, I think we're live, chaps. So,
Ooh.
my webcam is working. I think you are at least vaguely audible. I'm sure that the Twitch chat will tell me if I'm wrong. We've been having
Check,
another barrage of. I just Twitch and OBS, man. I don't know. I don't know why it hates me, but it does. Hey ho.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just gonna check we're on. Hey Tongra. Hey DBJ. You're in this room with me. I need to change the stream title. What should we call the stream?
Uh,
The
Neophytes in over their head.
Bucket of noobs.
Bucket of Noobs. Love it. Right, cool. Bucket of Noobs it is. Cool. Okay. Hello everyone. We are live in Big Brother House. So, as you'll see, I have varied hobby neophytes joining me today. I have Moku, who you'll recognise as Spike, Veles.
Hello.
What's your I can't remember what your Twitch chat is now, Veles.
I can't remember.
Oh, right. So Veles, who hasn't been following along clearly at all, and so is immediately my third favourite of these three, and then DBJ, who will recognise as DBJ. Hello, guys. Welcome to the bucket.
Thank you for inviting
you.
us on.
Thank you
Very
for
glad
stepping
to
in.
be here.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's nice to have a chat. You know my MO. I like to just chat with random people. My bucket of noobs joke didn't go through. Let me update it properly. There we go. Now we're bucket of noobs.
Yay.
So yeah, we're gonna hobby together and do a bit of painting. And I'm going to talk to these guys because you all have in common that you picked up. You picked the hobby up during lockdown, right? Which is kind of unique, I guess. Like, we have, obviously, this is the kind of first time it's happened in our lifetimes in this kind of way. So let's kick off with that, because obviously I remember, and you talk to most people and they have kind of a story of how they picked up the hobby. So I remember walking past the Canterbury store and seeing some Ishabti, which are lovely big old metal Tomb Kings models, and being like, damn, I want some of those, and went in and came out with some elves. And obviously you guys haven't had that privilege, luxury, whatever you're going to call it. So, yeah, how, like, in a world where the majority of people have found the hobby through, kind of seeing it about, how have you guys kind of fallen into it? Yes,
So
yeah.
I'm a returning hobbyist.
Oh, so not even a true neophyte.
Not. I kind of am, kind of not. Like, I started a really long time ago when I was 10, and it was the 40k second edition starter box, the one with all the grots in.
The one with all the grots.
I may even have some grots somewhere. I just don't know where it all is. I think it's probably in the attic.
You're right, Tongra. He lied to get on the stream. That's okay. We're very prestigious. we can take that.
But in terms of actually playing Warhammer and collecting, I don't think I've ever really played a game or anything like that. The last time I did it was at uni, and I had like a box of things. So, I've never had a full army or anything like that before.
Do you now?
Dude, you're not a proper noob.
I mean, I'm willing to let that slide.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that you're a father and came back to the hobby. I just said while Matt wasn't online, I have the feeling that a lot of people in the hobby are fathers that came back to the hobby.
Yeah, it's. I think it's a really common thing, especially at the moment.
Yeah.
With lockdown, there are a lot of people who are kind of in their 30s, were around, when they were kids.
Yeah.
Picked up Warhammer to whatever level or extent, and then have got older, have got a house, started to get some more disposable income again, and or of that age where they've got kids, don't really go out anymore, and perfect excuse to use up some spare time in lockdown.
When you have to wake up with a baby every 3 hours, having some models to paint while you wait for it to eat its food, probably helpful. Although they do say, picking up something you said there, that 40k is a kid's hobby for adults only, which I think is fair, because it's that kind of idea, like it's that fantasy we all had when we were kids, but now as grown-ass adults we have the finances to do it, or at least banks trust us enough to give us credit cards to do it.
Yeah. But we still can't find it to be arsed sometimes to actually do it.
So why did you pick it up again? So what was kind of the driving factor behind it? Was it just you were like, hey, that was a cool thing I used to do, and now I have time and some money, well, I'll do it again?
Yeah, I just remember pre-lockdown just kind of wandering past the Warhammer store in Bristol every now and again when I was in, and just kind of eyeing up the models as I passed.
It's a good store, to be fair.
And going, no, not going to do that again. It costs too much money. And I've been into board games for the last 10, 12 years. And one of the themes
That's a long board game.
recently is a lot of them have really nice minis now. And that's kind of how it started. It would be like, oh, it'd be cool if I could paint up some of these minis. See people on Board Game Geek and Instagram painting them up really nicely. And then I think the thing that really started it off was watching Starties.
Oh yeah.
I played
okay.
War and things like that, but I think the actual slide back into the hobby was watching Starties.
No, I heard the sound of recognition there, like someone else might have used the Starties as a way into the hobby as well.
That was me, but I didn't come with the movie, but I saw it, and lately it's canon now, right?
Yeah.
And it belongs to Games Workshop now.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, it's it's been very kind of it's been surprisingly controversial, I think. I think
really.
I think lots of people I've seen kind of complain about it. Velas might tell you their name if they fancy it, but they are someone in the Vanguard group.
Yes, yeah, I'm Jack from the Vanguard group. Although I've not ever been, just on the Discord mainly.
But yes, so basically, that's something we'll touch on a bit, I guess. Actually, I think a lot of people are very paranoid that Games Workshop have taken the Starties on purely to ruin it.
No, I don't think so.
No, not I disagree.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to do great things. He is.
I feel like we're a little bit on blind date, which is a reference that maybe one of three of you will get. I don't know
TV show, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's a TV show where you had three mystery people, and you'd always ask what their name and where they come from, and then you'd ask them inane questions, and then you'd go on a date with one of them. Good old Cilla Black, God bless her. So so basically, Velas, you were like, I've got some time, I've got some money, I like minis, give me some Warhammer, and how long ago was that?
Was that me, sorry?
Yeah, how long ago did you kind of get back into the swing of it?
So it was around September time.
Okay, so right at good Indomitus time. So what have you picked up?
So Indomitus was the first thing I picked up.
Excellent. Excellent box. Everyone else got Indomitus in here?
Yep.
No.
No?
No.
Oh yeah, fair. DBJ's an orc, so that's fair. We do need to tackle how DBJ picked up orcs as a first thing, because everyone goes through an orc phase, but usually it's a kind of level of hobby refinement.
Is it a phase?
For some people it's a phase. I think it's like, being an emo.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, I think some people kind of get into it and then grow out of it. That's true. Mediocre Modernate is correct. Every kit is an orc kit if you do it right. I think people go one of two ways. They either get bored of orcs because they don't want to paint that many things, or they live as an an orc long enough to make crazy looted vehicles and then never leave.
Yeah,
But-
the looted vehicle stuff that I've seen is
Oh.
just incredible.
Mediocre Modeler has, you'll recognise Mediocre Modeler from, well, Velas you might. He has all of the Mad Max style vehicles you might see in the group.
Yeah, I think I've seen those.
Yeah. You'll
Yeah,
notice he
those
doesn't
look
talk about his
really
army much. Hello, Dorito Eater 1296, 1296, or
That's my
1296.
friend.
Hello, Dorito Eater. Wow, are you sure?
He's the one who got me into it.
Mokuba is stunting here, claiming to have a real life friend, which would be a brand new hobby development, so we'll come on to that. So go on, Moku, since Dorito is here, you said Dorito got you into the hobby.
Well,
Were you
I got into it, but got me. Basically, I
don't say
always
back into
wanted
it.
to play.
if I find out that
No.
none of you are new to the hobby, I'm going to be furious.
No. I was always interested in playing it, but I lived in a really small town that had a small toy store, and only one shelf had it, and
Which is weird, because
I was
Ireland is
always-
notoriously populated.
yeah. But I always remember staring at I think it would have been just about when the Necrons came out,
Oh,
early Necron art. So I used to stand there for hours looking at the shelves, and I always wanted to play, but I never really got into it because nobody else in town really played.
it
So-
is something you really need other people to be involved in.
Yeah, and then just recently out of the blue last year, my friend there, Dorito Eater, he was just like, my friends got me into Warhammer. I'm doing it, and I was just like, I took that as my chance, and I was like, I'm in, I'm sold.
You've twisted my arm. There's a new Necron box. Oh no!
Yeah, pretty much.
I feel like in that way, Warhammer is kind of like the pyramid scheme of our generation. Like, no one ever, tried to sell me essential oils or body shop products, but they do try, and get people into Warhammer. So what does Dorito Eater play?
He has Death Guard at the moment.
Oh,
and he's
Meta
doing up
Chaser,
his
yeah.
own. No.
Yeah.
He picked them up before He picked them up before they even announced their new codex or anything.
That's what they all say. I want you, Dorito Eater.
And then he's also doing up his own faction of Chaos Space Marines.
Ah, awesome. That sounds super cool. Have you got any pictures for us, Dorito Eater? If so, if you've got anyway, you say some pictures, do let us know, and we will go and have a look and judge them vehemently. So yeah, so Dorito Eater got you in. So what was your first box, Indomitus?
No, actually, that was a bit of an impulse purchase. My first actual box was just a bog standard set of intercessors.
Nice. I love the intercessor models. They look very cool. Like, as in they look badass, right?
The new ones
Yeah.
or the older ones?
I like.
Not the tactical marines, the intercessors, like the Primaris intercessors.
Yeah, I got some of them too, but I call them the old ones with the static
the old monopose ones.
pose. Yeah, the monopose ones, and the Indomitus ones. They look like they move.
Oh yeah, those are assault intercessors.
Okay.
They are tasty. They have special swords.
Yeah, they're pretty much the same, just different weapon loadouts.
Now you're being accused, Mocha, of doing lots of impulse purchases, which I'm glad to know. No matter how much Dorito Eater's trying to out you here, if you don't make lots of impulse purchases, then I think that's a very important phase of your hobby career. So congratulations on reaching that milestone.
Well, does almost 5,000 points of Marines count as an impulse purchase?
Absolutely, because I did exactly the same with Dark Eldar. I said around June last year, I was like, I'm going to get some Dark Eldar, but I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to get a few Hellions and a few Reavers, and I'm going to paint. I'm going to have a rule where I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy anything new until I've painted what I have. And then I got them all out a couple of months ago, and I've got about 5,000-6,000 points on there. So yeah, I can totally sympathise with that.
Yeah. It wasn't 5,000 points in one go, just be honest. It was just, I started with the box of intercessors, then I was just like, I kind of need a HQ and stuff, so I got to start collecting, because I had a venerable dreadnought. I love dreadnoughts. And then that swiftly snowballed into a old-fashioned bike squad, a Rhino / Razorback, which
I love the Razorback.
It is. It's amazing. Indomitus. I start collecting Blood Angels.
So yeah, you've been hunting down all the old Blood Angels has just got out of production, haven't you?
Yes,
Fumoku?
I have. Yep.
Did you paint anything of it, or is it all gray?
I plead the fourth.
That's well, like we. I mean, we were talking about this before. I have literally 1,300 models next to me that I need to finish painting, so I cannot judge anybody. Happy little piles of opportunity here. That's all we have.
Yeah. And that's
Hey.
not even the least of it. I have a start collecting the new Combat Patrol for Blood Angels,
Nice.
the and Primaris Invader ATV, and of course Indomitus as well.
But now, Dorito. Okay, we can judge that it being all grey, but imagine having nothing left to paint. What would you do?
He just did that tonight. He's just finished his.
Well,
he has nothing left.
you've got too much time on your hands, Rito. We judge you.
No,
I think
I'm sorry, Jimmy.
Dorito's a liar too.
No, he's not. He's a very good friend. We went to the same college. I know.
He sounds like a good egg, but I'm gonna judge you having a fully painted army. How dare you? You're
Well, he
ruining
has
all
a
of our
typist
reps.
on as well.
Just putting us all to shame.
Yeah, clearly. And is Dorito good at painting?
They're pretty good, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
He's got a typist on the way, so.
Oh, look forward to seeing it one day. So,
Yep.
DBJ, how did you find the hobby?
That's a long story.
That's
so
fine.
I've been playing D&D for about 6 years,
Nice. That's
or as long as 6 years. Yeah. And shortly before COVID, the group separated because a few people decided to stop playing, and we couldn't focus on something new. And then I thought, okay, what is Tabletop 2? Why not Warhammer? Because I've been watching painting videos of Duncan Rhodes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God bless Duncan.
Yeah, I love him. And I've been reading Warhammer Fantasy books, Gotrek and Felix and stuff like that.
I know that Mediocre Modeler is a huge Gotrek and Felix fan. I believe he has the old models in the current Dogs of War army he's working on.
Ooh, nice. And so I thought, okay, let's buy some models, and I did it shortly before the release of 9th edition, and I didn't hear anything about 9th edition. So I got the first Strike box set with Ultramarines and Death Guard.
Lovely.
I got both codexes.
Oh no, just before 9th.
Yep.
Oh,
and my girlfriend gave me a box of orcs, so I have three incomplete armies right now.
Now that is being a hobbyist.
two outdated codexes.
I say it's 2 codexes.
They're never outdated. Their lore is still always good.
The lore is still always good. That's true.
Yeah.
That's very positive.
Yeah.
I believe the all in caps yes there is for Gotrek and Felix, by the way, so congrats. You've got our first cheer of the evening.
Yeah. And so while a little bit about over a year ago, I got a kid, or I became father.
Congratulations.
And so,
got a kid and
thank you very
became a
much.
father are very different sounding questions. One sounds like it was found somewhere, and the other sounds like it was yours. Like, I got a kid sounds like you were just walking past the park and were like, yeah, fine, and just scooped one up.
Nah, it was a little bit more than that. And so with all the COVID stuff, so I think a lot of hobbies I had aren't doable right now. And so my sole hobby is sitting at a desk at night, having 2 hours or something like that, and painting teeny tiny toys, which is, I don't know, kind of strange.
It's kind of a dream. It is. So this is it, right? And this is, I don't know how you guys have found this, because I know when I first started playing, it was quite, I don't want to say taboo, because so I started playing pretty early 2000s, but I started playing seriously when I was kind of in secondary school. But when I was kind of started playing, it was something that you kind of didn't really talk about with your friends because they might laugh at you, because you were playing with teeny tiny toy soldiers. How have you, is that still a thing? So obviously you guys all started fresh. Is it something... Did you talk to your friends about these kinds of things? Do they judge you for it? Is it, how has it been for you, kind of coming out to the world as a Warhammer player?
discuss it with some people, but not everyone. Like, I think there's
I don't think everyone would get it.
yeah. So I think there's definitely a portion of people that I know would be like, it's a bit weird.
Yeah, fair.
I think there's still this is kind of like ultimate geek territory.
Pretty much.
And for people who know I am a geek anyway, it's just kind of completing the circle, I suppose. But yeah, it's not something I talk about with loads and loads of people. But then at the same time, I don't really see that many people at the moment.
I mean, yeah.
It's a bit difficult.
Very fair point. How about yeah, go on.
Well, I tell a fair few people because honestly, I couldn't care less. You know,
Yeah.
everybody has their own hobbies. I'm not going to make fun of theirs. You know, and I have some very good friends who'd never make fun of me.
That's really good.
They know a little bit about Warhammer. Like if I mention that I bought something else, they'll immediately rib me and go, "Oh, another thing to sit on your shelf." You know.
I do find with memes, like I know I have so many friends who don't know nothing about the hobby, but know memes. Like I have friends who don't play the hobby, have never played the hobby, but they'll like send me. So there was the whole paint me like one of your French girls memes going around, and then like it had really bad eyes or was just covered in Knoll oil or whatever. And people who know nothing about the hobby and don't game keep sending me those memes.
Yeah,
That's nice.
Yeah, I mean it's nice people think of me, but it was like also like you don't know what this is. You're just sending me a meme because you know it's to do with this. Which is which is
and
nice.
that's how you know that's a good friend. You know.
Exactly. Well, or people with
They take an interest
terrible
in your
joke
hobby.
taste. Exactly, that's very true. How about you, DBJ? Is it something you are you kind of like a fully out nerd?
I'd say I talk to a lot of people about that about their hobby, but I don't care much about what people think of me.
I mean, I suppose it's also kind of different for you guys. That's a very good attitude for a start. But also, I suppose like you guys all picked up, you're all adults now, and so I guess it's kind of different. You don't kind of have that same conversation where I'd go into school on on a Thursday. Yeah, on a Thursday after a club night on a Wednesday. But like, what did you do last night? I was like, oh, nothing really. And just kind of hope that no one saw me leave the Warhammer shop in my case. Which I wish I didn't care that much going back, but I was young and impressionable in secondary school, so I did care, unfortunately, a little bit. That's really, really good. And so so if you kind of obviously you've engaged with the best hobby community, which is the Bucketeers. I feel like I need a better name than the Bucketeers, but that's what I'm going with now. Obviously, you've engaged with the best group, which is us. But have you kind of dived kind of headfirst into the online community, or is it something you kind of look at from afar? What's your kind of impression been of how the online community works?
It seems to be either really, really nice and supportive, or incredibly salty.
I know exactly what you mean.
The two extremes, like the Warhammer content on YouTube is incredible, and people on Instagram as well are really good and supportive. I've been on Reddit as well.
Any personal face you follow on Instagram?
Quipster Nerd is one that I follow quite a lot.
Nice.
Who does the Conclave podcast?
Oh, cool.
And then I tend to try not to follow kind of like the bigger like YouTube people, just because I want to kind of see other people's stuff.
Yeah, you know where their content is, right?
It's basically, if anyone has a really nice yellow looking marine, I'll follow them.
I mean, yeah.
It's what I do. Is like, oh, that's a good yellow. I'm going to follow this guy.
I do exactly the same with Grots. Also, I just want to extract two things from that, if I may. The first one being that Bucket of Grots didn't come up in your favourite Instagram, so thanks for that. And then secondly, you also admitted you don't follow anyone who's big, so I know you follow my page, so thanks for that as well. But I think you're right. I think I guess maybe it's an online thing that kind of the hobby is, because you're in, of course you're in 40k Discord as well, I know, which is a pretty good space to be actually. But it is quite. I think anywhere online, right, you see the kind of the both flip sides of the debate. I think you only see the kind of extreme views, which is I guess to be expected. What about
But
Go on.
Yep. Is there saltiness in the online community? I heard about like real life players that they can be very salty, but I found Instagram.
Mhm.
That's the one channel I used to speak to people and look at pictures and whatever.
Mm.
Very supportive.
Yeah, I think I find. I mean, in my experience, and I don't know if you guys have found the same. Any place that's devoted to hobby, I find tends to be very chill because people love to share painting techniques. They love to show off their work. I think it's a very very positive space. If you want to see an example of the salty stuff, I would. I mean, I wouldn't recommend because it's awful. But if you do want to see it in action, just go and follow Games Workshop on Facebook or anywhere, and just read through the comment threads because the comment threads on everything is just people complaining about their armies.
Yeah, there's a reason why they
Okay.
turn their YouTube comments off.
Yeah, which is a shame really
Crazy.
because I think there's this kind of and hopefully it's something you guys haven't found. There's this kind of pervading conspiracy theory almost that Games Workshop hates the people who play its game and just want to make them miserable. Like everything they do that people don't like is a deliberate kick in the teeth.
I think
Yeah.
that's giving a company far too much credit for how organised they are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree. Don't get me wrong. There's some rules that I think are badly written. I don't think they're badly written because they hate people. I just think it's hard to write
Yeah.
rules sometimes.
Yeah,
I just I think it's easier for some people just to write like to see something new that's being released and then immediately just go they don't know me, they don't know like where I am, where I live. It's just easy to like I'll just leave a mean comment about it.
Yeah, anonymity,
Whereas
absolutely.
yeah, and then you do have the very it's a very minor amount of people that are actually very salty if you play against something. It's probably what 1 in 100 that might act like that.
Yeah, and generally
just
speaking, you can get out of those games quick enough.
Yeah, just I know I've done it once or twice where I've seen something release and like I might put something slightly mean, just like, but if I wouldn't be like that in a game, or it's very easy once you're online with the anonymity as you. But
Absolutely.
I don't do it anymore. It was just when I first got into the hobby, I thought, but now I've way matured. I was just,
I'm
it's not
proud
the
of
way
you.
to act. It's not the way to act.
You're no longer a neophyte. I promote you to initiate. Or, depends what kind of neophyte you are, I might promote you to an acolyte. I haven't worked out if we're a cult or a chapter yet.
Yeah.
How about you, DBJ? Have you found the kind of online crew? What's that in Velas? So, Salty Velas, I know you've joined our local gaming group and stuff. And we're pretty good at not being salty, I think. We have our people, every group has its people.
Yeah, I think there's definitely certain groups, mainly on Facebook, that get like really, really salty.
Yeah, fair enough. Lee. We're definitely a cult.
But I think in general, most people are very, very supportive and incredibly supportive of like new people.
Mhm.
Like I'll see things where someone's painted something and it's not very good, but it gets like loads of support and likes, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is great." They're clearly a new player, and everyone's like, going, "You've done really well here. Congrats on your first model and all that kind of stuff."
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think it is a very good community. I think.
I think it helps as well because I think as a community we've kind of realised that getting new blood in. Stop trying to make people aberrants. Maybe by the end of it you'll be aberrants rather than neophytes. But I think it's right, and I think people have realised that new players are the lifeblood of the hobby. Like apart from anything, so it means there's extra people for me to beat at tournaments because I can beat new people pretty easily. Everyone else, not too sure about. So obviously, I presume none of you have played a game in person yet, or if you have, it would have been.
Yep.
Is that yes you have, or no? Yes I'm right.
Not
You haven't.
not yet.
How about you, Velas?
Me and my wife played a couple of games, just with the Indomitus figures.
Oh, lovely. How does she enjoy it?
So yeah, she likes it. She's playing the Necrons. She's not into it as me, but she
Good
does
taste.
like art and things like that.
So basically, you've got someone to fob off your painting on if you don't want to paint it.
Well, she's only painted
Oh, right. We'll have to get her on.
Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get her on and inspire her, because I paint very, very sporadically, which is why I've started this, and I paint loads now because of the stream. So we'll get her in.
But yeah, she's very good, but just needs to sit down and do it.
Who wins when you guys play?
She does. Yeah, I do very, very badly whenever I play games. I do quite well at killing things, but I don't get very many points from objectives.
Oh, classic.
So I'll peel someone
Imperial
off.
Fist point. Imperial Fist player doesn't do well at holding stuff.
The shame of the chapter. Fortify.
And then to knock some of hers off an objective, I'll peel a troop off of mine, but then they'll just get bogged down, and then I just lose all my points, and she keeps on gaining points.
To be fair, Necrons do very well at kind of not getting knocked about the place, so Necrons are a better objective playing army, pretty much, I guess, than Necrons. Than Marines, just because their ability is to stand there and keep getting back up when you shoot them.
Yep.
Yeah.
How about you, DBJ and Moku? Have you managed to get a game in any way apart from maybe the odd tabletop sim?
No, I don't have tabletop sim. No, unfortunately.
To be fair, I don't get on with it.
But no, I haven't played a game. But I'm part of an illustrious club where I've yet to play a game, but I own an Astreus. So if I'm able to join the club, I'll give you the membership cards.
I mean, that's commitment straight out of the box. I am very impressed. Like, I know you have 3 unpainted armies, DBJ, which is a sign of good hobbying.
Yeah.
But having an Astreus, which is entirely legitimate, I'm sure,
Yes,
is impressive.
totally.
Entirely legitimate. We would never encourage you to not use legitimate products here on this channel, because we always encourage you to buy responsibly and support the hobby that you support the hobby if it's something you enjoy.
Yeah.
Just make sure no one's listening. It's fine. And how about you? Sorry. How about you? Oh wait, no, we've asked everyone already. Oh, I keep seeing there's 4 of you, and there's not. There's only 3 of you. I keep seeing 4 names and getting really confused.
One of the names is yours, right?
Well, exactly, yeah. How have I played the games? I managed to get to a tournament in October time. No, don't stop commenting Grot streams. It's just I'm immune. I have a cult now. It's fine. And I know where you live. Well, that sounds very surreal. That's fine. Are you in the office, Lee, or are you at home? So Mediocre Modeler is a very, very good modeler, which you wouldn't guess from his name, who's currently building me a secret project, which we're going to talk about next Monday.
Oh, it's going to be beautiful, I'm sure. I follow him on his Instagram. It's
Yes.
Everything he posts is just chef's kiss. It's perfect.
He is. He's what he has this weird ability, which I think you just I mean, he's been playing longer than I have, and I think at that point you just developed this ability to he just like, I think he just takes a bits box and then covers like a normal vehicle, like a Gene Stealer cult vehicle or an Orc vehicle, in super glue, and then just pours the bits box on top of it, and somehow it comes out like real, like the food reprocessors in Red Dwarf. Just like chuck it in a box. It's yeah. So have you guys? Speaking of which, how is your hobby going? Like, you know, so obviously I know we talk about some of you who shall not be named have just a big pile of grey. But are you finding so when you get out of the box, are you still at the point where you want to kind of just do it all by the art? Are you doing a point where you want to kind of convert models, give them a little bit of an edge? You know, custom schemes. Where are you guys at in your hobby journey? And what are you working on tonight, most importantly?
So I decided that I would be a bit macho, I think, was my real decision behind painting Imperial Fist. I just heard yellow's difficult to paint. I was like, yeah, I can
So
paint
you're a
any
masochist.
colour. And then I discovered that it is actually a real bitch.
It really is, especially Imperial Fist. Like, Orc Yellow's kind of okay because you can get away with it being patchy. Imperial Fist, nah.
Yeah. So it's slow progress, but I've got an airbrush the other day, and that is an absolute joy to do yellow with now. So hopefully it's going to speed up soon. But I'm just kind of taking my time with it because we just have a lot of time anyway. So I'm not too bothered if it's taking a long time. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to do things as well as I can. I'm just kind of sticking to the normal Imperial Fist theme, but I've
But
tweaked it
yeah.
a little bit.
But if you like Imperial Fist, then that's fine. And this, I feel like Marines, anyway, you kind of get away a lot more, or not get away with, but I think you see a lot less kind of crazy conversions about the place because they are so regimented. And like, you want to play Imperial Fist, you want to play Imperial Fist.
Yeah, unless you're going for like a very cool custom chapter.
And then you can't take Lysander.
Yeah. Although I don't actually have the supplement, so I haven't actually got any of the
Yet.
characters. I think there's only two, isn't there? There's Lysander and Torgaradon.
Yes.
Yeah, which he's not on Battlescribe. I was having a look. Torgaradon is missing off of Battlescribe.
Oh, tut.
But I'm having quite a lot of fun with like posing the intercessors and things like that. They obviously don't come with the full kit of what you can use because you can give them power fists and thunder hammers and things like that. So I've been picking up some. I think these are Tartarus Terminator power fists.
Ooh, lovely.
Work quite well with the Primaris size models. So just having a bit of fun with the posing of these guys, and then I've just got loads of monopose stuff, which I'm just kind of leaving as it is.
Green Goblin Studio has a, if you do want any tips on painting yellow, so Green Goblin's also in the Vanguard chat, has a good tip. You might have already talked about yellow, to be fair, because I know that Green Goblin Studio and yourself are both quite active in sharing pictures of models, so you might have already talked to each other about it. But if you do fancy some tips, I'm sure they'll be more than willing to share. So Green Goblin Studio paints some gorgeous models there. So I know you might have seen their Mortarion earlier. Oh, savage.
On the Discord.
I think it was on the Vanguard Discord, yeah. Yes. But yeah, beautiful models. We have some very good modelers in our little weird cult, and we're going to have even more soon. I've got a few people coming from a long and fabled club, ironically called the Hate Club, who are the loveliest. So Velas, you'll meet some of them eventually at Vanguard events. They're called the Hate Club, and they shop, and they're all heavily tattooed and pierced and stuff, with kind of proper metal haircuts. And as someone who is relatively easily intimidated, because I'm not the manliest man who ever exists, I was like, these guys look terrifying, and they are just the nicest dudes you'll ever meet. Like, they are just the most progressive, kindest dudes. So I've got some of them going on Friday. So we are very lucky to have some very, very talented people joining us. Like, we had Emma the other day. I don't know if you guys were here for Emma's stream. And obviously the three of you. I know I've seen a lot of stuff. Well, I haven't seen anything Mocha's painted. Jeez, get on it. But I've definitely seen some of your work, and it is. I mean, it puts mine to shame. And I've been doing this hobby for 15 years, but also hate painting, so win-win.
Same.
How about you, Mocha? So, how's your hobby journey going?
Pretty good, yeah. I'm assembling a Redemptor right now.
Oh, lovely. What galleys?
It's just an easy to build one. Just to find on eBay. Oh.
Lovely. Are you going? Is this going to be a Blood Angels one?
It is, yes. I will be focusing on Blood Angels for a while, but I am thinking at some point in the future. I have so many things I want to work on, but top of the list is a Gravis only Imperial Fists.
That'd be very cool.
Nice. I like the sound of that.
Which is weird, because one of my first ever dream armies was Lysander with an army of Thunderhammer Terminators, which is basically the old version of that list. DBJ, how about you? You've got orcs. Bring on home for us. How's your hobby journey going?
Yeah, so far
I mean, I know that you painted me a
building
Necron,
the
and it's gorgeous.
Yeah, thank you very much. So for now, I'm building the models like as is, like normally, and just bash or convert a little bit to get to know how it works. So little green stuff experiments and stuff like that. But I
That's some
think
advanced shit.
yeah, but I think the so my first 10 or 11 orc boys, they are pretty much like out of the box, and I bet I'll get another one. So I have another 10 lying around, so they get a little bit more converted, and the next one get a little bit more converted, and I think like that. And speaking of orcs, I paint them blue because we're lucky blue kids. I love the death skulls, and I collect a lot of trash. So I have way more like bottle caps and plastic thingies and wood and stuff. And one day, I will be building, scratch building something huge and beautiful.
Yes, that sounds amazing. And Faye, you're not the only person here that collects trash because Velas is playing Imperial Fists. So we're bringing the banter out early. That sounds super cool. You thinking like Stomper sized or bigger?
Nah, actually, either grot tanks.
Yes,
I
I love
saw
grot tanks.
I saw yours, and they're pretty nice. Or like today, some guy I follow on Instagram finished his grot mega tank. I
Grot
don't
Mega
know
Tank
if
is
you
awesome.
by chance follow that guy too, and it's awesome. It's made. It looks like a huge ship, and it's made out of like a lot of plastic card and an old 90s Marines tank. I don't know which one.
That sounds amazing. I will go and have a look. Send me a link if you would, and I will have a look. See.
Is it
I
a
will send a
Rhino,
link.
a Land Raider, or a Razorback?
I think more like a Land Raider.
Yeah, because I think that was only like the only tank options in the 90s.
Pretty much, yeah. You had the old Rhino, and the weird thing about the old Rhino is that the Rhino's hull was two Rhino hulls stuck together. So it's like two L-shaped Rhinos. So it was like the front panel and then the top panel. Then the bit underneath it had another top panel on it. It was weird. That sounds awesome. Grot Mega Tanks are my unsung hero of the Orc Codex. They get like 7 custom Mega Blasters, like 150 points. And they have an invuln save, and they do so many cool things. I mean, yeah, I have a lot of love for Grots, as you guys might have noticed. I also have a lot of Necrons, and a lot of Dark Elder, and Deathwing. And I've got
So, Matt,
Yo.
I just shooted you the link.
Let's
Is that correct English?
Yeah, that'll do. Better than my English.
So for the other guys, the Instagram name is the Drunken Orc.
Let's have a look, see, shall we?
I don't know if you can put it on screen. Probably
hot diggity dogs, that's gorgeous. Trying to work out what it is. So what is that? So that is... Oh, it's 90s Chimera.
I don't know.
Yeah, so
it looks awesome.
That is hot diggity sweet zombie Jesus. Let me go and find that, and I will pop it on the stream. Quick, talk and keep everyone distracted while I go.
I've just done a whoops. I've snapped the antenna off of my repulsor.
That's...
No.
So that's not a problem for now. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll fix that tomorrow.
That's fine. It doesn't need to communicate with anyone.
That's true.
It fires at the closest thing, and that'll be fine.
Yeah.
So
Let me
working on right now.
I'm just sorting out the absolute mess my bases were in because a couple of months ago I thought it'd be a good idea to put them all in one place, so that I could grab them when needed. And I'm still new to this, as I've said, and I still I can't tell the sizes just by looking at them, so it's a real pain in the ass.
Especially they've recently changed them as well, so we never used to have the 28 and 30, do we have 32 mils?
Not sure.
We definitely didn't have 28 mils. So it used to be 25, 30. 25, 32, 40, 50, blah, blah. And we only have 28 mils because of engagement range. What?
Yeah.
Crazy. So the issue...
Guys, stupid question.
Yeah,
You guys normally don't use centimeters and stuff, right?
pretty much.
We do. Here in Ireland, yeah.
The Irish do, it's just the English. We're feet and inches.
We've got a very weird mix of imperial and metric. So, yeah, we'll use meters sometimes, and then sometimes we'll use inches.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a stupid question.
So I think I could look at some bases and guess them pretty much right.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that an inch is 2.54 centimeters because... So there's an old game called Inquisitor, and weirdly that used centimeters, but then it used centimeters, but it used a centimeter to be a yard. So you measured in yards, but the number of yards was the number of centimeters. It kind of had a rule that you can use it as whatever scale you want, but it recommended using centimeters. So you did it in yards, which is just over a meter, it's about 3 foot.
Epic 40k uses centimeters too,
Epic
right?
40k, yes, it does.
I just got some epic miniatures.
They are surprisingly good.
I can't properly paint heroic scale, but I got some orcs.
I mean, epic scale, right? It's right. I'm gonna smash this tank up on screen. There we go, everybody. Mediocre modder do have a look. Hello, Weetabix. It's Weetabix. So sorry. Context. Weetabix is, I'm going to guess, because I know it's his username everywhere else. The Grotto image that I used today, the Grogu mini, that I used today is his, and also he is also superb. Because he lets me keep a bunch of my shit in his garage. But he's also the chap that got me into cosplay, so I do a bit of cosplay. I got a bit of cosplay when we could. But Weetabix has a full-sized Blood Angels Death Company Marine in his garage.
Oh wow!
Which he stomps around conventions with. Pardon?
Is he selling?
No. He wears it. He wanders around in it.
I thought you were like a statue.
Oh, no. A full suit made almost entirely out of Halford's foam floor mats.
I am very jealous.
I'm going to find a picture. He also
Please.
has like a... Weetabix, how long is your... I don't want to ask how long is your sword. But Weetabix, how long is your sword? So basically, we 3D printed a sword, and then he put loads of really cool...
If I were him, I would say slightly above average.
To get into the cult, you need to show us your sword.
I would like to have one at some point with a...
That's a very big sword.
Yes, and I have... Oh, you did it in centimeters as well, just to make us happy. Right, I'm going to... If you don't mind, Weetabix, I'm going to raid your Instagram. I won't put your face on, but I am going to raid your Instagram for pictures of your gear. Because what he did is he painted the sword, but he put like almost like Tipex stuff, like rubber, basically like masking fluid. So he put some some LEDs that can run through it, and then he put masking fluid on, and then painted it silver. But we took it off, which means that because it's made of translucent plastic, it means that the lights will show through, and it has a rainbow mode, and I love it. It also has a fire mode.
I mean, I suppose it makes sense. Like, of course, the Death Company dude has a rainbow sword, because I mean, it's not that different than raving, is it?
Exactly.
He's totally out of his mind. He's in the zone.
Do I
Matt?
want to? Yeah.
What are you cosplaying at, Grot?
No, but I would quite like to do that. I bet it would be quite funny. No, so the cosplay I have is a Tanith Imperial Guardsman.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Let me find a picture. That one will do, because that has an all-size person in it, and also his bolter.
Are you putting these on Discord, is it?
I will flag them up on the Twitch stream if Weetabix doesn't object. There'll be no face picture. I'll also send it to Discord.
Yeah, that's just one, because my Twitch is being a bit weird on my phone. I can't mute it, so I hear you guys twice when I click into it.
I will drop them in the Discord, and then I will drop them into the things. This is on Instagram, if you want to follow him, it's Weeto Builds, Weeto Builds. And let me just drop into Discord. So it always happens. I have really interesting guests on, and I always end up talking about someone in chat. It's so terribly rude of me. Where are we? Sword.
Guys, I'm leaving in about 10 minutes because I need to feed my kid.
Also, to be fair, it is like an hour ahead there, right? So it's currently, what, 10:30 for you?
Oh, yeah.
There we go. I have dropped it in the Discord for you to have a look at.
So,
Oh,
I'm already following you.
just for the record, I'm not feeding my kid with my teat, but with formula. Sheesh.
the fact that you
The
had to clarify
sword
that
is-
makes us worried.
The sword is incredible.
It is
It is.
very cool, isn't it? So it's a design we took offline and then
Fuck
3D
you.
printed it, and it is hefty. There's also a plasma pistol that lights up as well.
That is some.
I will
quality
have a
craftsmanship.
look at it. So, yeah.
Sanguinius would be proud.
Oh, the painting especially, like the painting just is the absolute icing on the cake. I need to put it up on the stream so people can have a look. Sorry, Grot Mega Tank, you are beautiful, but we're going to show a picture of
Yeah,
James's mighty weapon.
Get rid of it. Vito Bix, hats off to
I
you.
like the, I like the random Batman in the background.
Yeah. I don't know, and I feel like that picture was Warhammer Fest. Might not have been. Because
Yes.
I know that.
The most,
Oh no, it's Bristol Comic Con. I
that's
stand
what I got one
corrected.
for.
Yes. I have a picture somewhere of me holding that bolter, and that bolter is probably 2 foot across, so what? About 50 centimetres across at least.
Okay.
And just for those of you in the Discord, this is a Discord only follow thing. Here's his other weapon, his plasma pistol. But yes, I have Weeto on my list of people I'd like to get on the stream,
Nice.
mainly because I know the chat wanted people wearing. It is fantastic, isn't it? I know people wanted a extra hats, and I know that Weeto. Weirdly, there's a weird hobby link here because we're talking about how easy it is to kind of. Oh, sorry, the bolter is 90 centimeters long. I do apologise, just under a meter. There you go. There's the sword for those of you in Twitch chat. So
My
yeah,
kid is smaller than that bolter.
probably less effective at killing heretics as well.
She has some mean claws.
Yeah, I'd like to have Weeto because Weeto also has a beautifully painted Blood Angels army, so do go and give him a follow. But yeah, so I know, like you said, DBJ, you need to go shortly, so I will ask you to go. Have you found, when you started the hobby, did you kind of have any expectations of it that kind of just immediately broke on like day 2? So like, did you start thinking, I'm going to have one box, and then a month later you've got 9?
There's one thing, like plastic crack is real.
It is.
Why is buying models and dreaming about building them or converting them much more, I don't know, why does it give me more than actually painting models?
I know what you mean. I have an actual, like, I feel like I've been using buying models to get me through the pandemic.
Yeah, plastic crack is real.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is bothering me a bit. So I have, I don't know the English words. I bet everyone playing Warhammer is a neckbeard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so far I haven't played like in real life. So I'm waiting to find out if it's true or not. Probably not.
I mean, anyone in the chat who knows me and has met me will tell you that I grow pathetic, patchy facial hair. So I'm definitely not a neckbeard.
I saw a picture of you. You're fitting my... I'm so sorry.
Savage. Oh, that's weird. Oh, he had to leave all of a sudden.
and kick ban.
No.
No, Matt, you're a beautiful human being.
Oh, you are all beautiful
No,
human beings for joining.
but getting into the hobby
Yes.
and having contact with some kind of scene is all online for me,
Mhm.
and it's simply Instagram and your Discord channel. And as we said before, everyone is very supportive.
That's good.
Someone posts a pic of a magnetized orc boys, and I asked him, "Hey, how did you do that?" And he took like 30 minutes of writing me how to do it,
That's
stuff
really
like
good.
that. And
That's
there's a guy in Great Britain that never saw me and did send me 2 unpainted grots to paint for him.
to be fair, you did send them back, and you painted them lovely.
Not, just one. I kept one.
Good point. I forgot I sent you 2. Thief.
Yeah.
So now you've insulted and stolen from the leader of our cult. You like to live dangerously.
Oh yeah.
I mean, in the Gene Stealer cult, I think that gets you promoted to some kind of patriarch or similar. But yes,
I'm sending it back to you one day.
you can. That's
So
well. I'll tell you what. Here's the deal.
I know how I want to pay to paint it, but I need white primer first.
I'll tell you what. Here's the deal. The day that we meet in person, you fight the grots. You can bring it back then. How about that?
No, I'm gonna send it to you first, and after that we meet.
Okay. Oh, well, it's just so I can see. Is it an insult grot as well then? Yeah. It's when this is all over, I would love to do a. So I'm going to be going to Warhammer World in Nottingham to do a big load of grot based, basically the grot Olympics. So I'm hoping lots of people from the chat will be able to come along if they're able to come to Warhammer World. It'd be great, and we'll have a grot party. Like we'll just take it over.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, easy. We'll just crowdfund tickets for everyone. Be fine. Cool.
So guys,
yes.
I'm about to leave. It was nice talking to you.
Yeah, it was lovely. Thank you so much for talking to us.
To be honest, I didn't paint while talking because I can't speak English and paint at the same time.
I mean, you're having to speak your second language, so that's I will let it slide.
Yeah. So, look at that.
You're all disappointments in one way.
Have a nice night and evening and whatever, and we'll see us. I don't know, at Twitch, at Discord, wherever.
Thanks, DVJ.
At Grotfest.
Yes, Grotfest 2021. It's happening. You heard it here first. Grotfest 2021 is just an excuse for me to go to Warhammer World, and they have a. See you later, DVJ. By the way, thank you for joining us.
Bye.
So peace out.
Later, buddy. So Warhammer World, they have it's I think about a 14-foot long table, which is like it's designed to be played long ways, and it's basically like a siege lines thing. And I want to put all the grots on there, and just see how far people can get through it in a day of gaming.
The only table that is big enough to take your bucket of grots.
And so there is a genuine issue taking grot spaces. I played tournaments before I took several hundred. Grotfest sounds like a goth club. Yes. There will probably be some goth music because I'm not particularly into goth music. We've discussed my my taste in music, and it's very much in the BTS zone of the musical spectrum. But whenever I go around to Weetabix's and he helps me, we do some cosplay builds. We always end up listening to Sanctuary Radio, which is basically, I'm going to get my terminology all wrong here. It's basically 90s industrial goth. So, oh my god, why can't I think of any of the bands? Weetabix, help me. He'll come back for that when we catch up on stream. But while we're waiting on that, Velas, Mogul, what about you guys? Have you had any kind of expectations for when you started the hobby that have kind of been shattered or been confirmed true? Like, what did you think you were getting yourself in for?
I thought it wouldn't be too difficult. I thought it'd be quite easy, and then my expectations were probably shattered in record time as I opened the box of intercessors, and I was just like, why is there 8 billion pieces?
Yeah. Some kits are awful for that. Although the newer kits are quite good because obviously newer kits are designed to go together quite well, whereas the old ones were kind of a lot more posable, but kind of they didn't. The poses weren't as cool
Yeah.
unless you really put effort into it. So what did you kind of expect from it? Did you expect it to be, airfix, just stick bit A to bit B, and then you've got a Space Marine?
Well, I'd never really done airfix either, so I had no like basis. I knew you'd kind of have to assemble the models, but I didn't know like how much, you know.
Yeah, fair. It is. It can, especially some models. What was the first model set you built? Was it the Intercessors?
No, they're actually technically. I'm still terrified of them. So
No,
they're
go.
still in the pop.
Oh.
My first model I built was a assault intercessor from that new Imperial, or not Imperial.
Indomitus.
No, not the Indomitus. There was like a magazine they did for about 10 to 12 euro, and
Oh,
you got
Conquest.
like, not Conquest. No,
Okay.
it was in the last year, I think, that they brought it out, and it basically has one assault intercessor and one
Okay.
Oh
one
yes, yeah,
Necron
it's
warrior.
yeah, I know the one. It's like a start here.
Ah, there we go. The
thing,
Edge
isn't
of Silence.
Okay.
Start.
Oh, I've never heard of that. See, you're teaching me
Oh no,
things.
that's the one out of the Indomitus. God. I actually can't remember the name of it. It's somewhere upstairs, but yeah, it had one assault intercessor in it.
Oh, cool.
I built that. Immediately lost the backpack.
There are so many backpass Space Marines out there, just like, yeah, no, I left it at home, Sergeant. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was an easy to build assault intercessor. I was clipping out the backpack. It just pinged off, and my carpet hasn't given it up yet. I've cleaned it 6 times. Nothing.
One day it will appear. One day when you least expect it. But that's why we all have bits boxes. People like to say we have bits boxes for for conversions. It's just models we've lost down the years.
Yeah, like forget giving us like 20 heads in the Eradicator box. For the love of God, give us like extra backpacks, because I only have enough backpacks for all my Marines I have. I don't have pairs.
That is unfortunately an age-old games actually. Like, this is a 96-part model for these 10 models. You're like, cool. How many parts are heads? And like 54. Like, great. You can have angry helmet heads. You can have angry non-helmet heads. You're like, how can you have an angry helmet head? It is. Although, and I don't wish to be like kids these days don't know they're born, but hobbyists these days don't know they're born because you've never known the horror of building the old Fantasy S dragon. Oh, it was a dragon made out of heavy metal, and what I didn't know is it looks like it all fits together, and you super glue it and you hold it for an hour and it falls apart immediately. And you keep doing that, and sort of 14, 15-year-old me who was very excited to buy one because it was one of the direct order models that I bought for at the Games Workshop Open Day, and I tried to put it together, just failed entirely, and then I learned many years later that you're meant to pin them. Oh, having to pin models. Oof. Thank God that happens to some more. So, how are you, fellas? How have you found hobby? Any kind of assumptions?
I think the same. It's harder than I thought it would be. I think that's partly, they are fiddlier to assemble. The kind of Indomitus stuff was a bit of a false start because it's fairly push fit, easy to build kind of stuff. So it's quite easy.
Yeah.
But then when it came to doing my box of intercessors, trying to get the poses right and all that kind of stuff was just something completely new. Getting these little pouches to stick right on the.
Yeah.
And then I put them on, and then there's no space for the arm to go on properly, and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, that was a challenge, and as well. Before I started, I watched people like Squidmar on YouTube, and they make the painting look so easy.
Yeah.
And then you go to do it, and it's just impossible. And then you pick this thing up, and it's like, this thing is so tiny, like I can't even see it properly. How did they paint it?
Oh, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Some people are just another level. I mean, a lot of people in chat are. Green Goblin Studios. I mean, Mediocre Modeler is very good, but Mediocre Modeler says Mediocre Modeler has mastered the art of dry brushing to such a level that it looks like actual art. It's incredible. Like, I feel like that's kind of the avenue I've gone down. So I think, for me, painting is something I do. Just throw my blanket over there. Painting is something I do to get an effect, and I leave it. I'm like, it looks good. I'm gonna call it there.
Yeah, it's there's definitely been points where I've been painting a model and I'm just like, I can't be asked anymore. This looks all right. I'll just leave it there and move on
Yeah, absolutely.
because I've got many more that need to be painted.
And this is, you can always go back and do it again if you need to. I find, here's a pro tip: dry brushing is the best technique. If you haven't learned any techniques yet, dry brushing / stippling with a sponge, I find, especially for vehicles, especially for orc vehicles, beautiful. Less good probably for yellow perfect things. When you've got, I saw your. Did you put a picture of your pad up the other day? Someone put up an Imperial Fist the other day in the Vanguard chat. Was that yours?
With the big, yeah. I think
With the yeah, that was beautiful yellow. Very well done.
It's a culmination of trying lots and lots of different techniques and things like that. And I've done I watched a Darren Latham video where he did all these different glazes to do these transitions, which is what I've done on a few things. And it just takes ages. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to do this a bit quicker. But it meant I needed my base yellow to be, really, really nice and smooth. So it took me about an hour and a half just to put on the yellow.
Oof.
Of just
But it looks very good.
But it was all smooth and everything like that. It just took so long. And then you get to that point, you're like, do I want to put battle damage on that?
Yeah.
It took me so long to do this. Am I going to mess it up?
One slip of the brush. But John, this is when we had. I don't know if you guys watched Emma the other day, Dice and Demons with her crosshatch stuff, and I think one of the things I really enjoyed about her show, it's made me want to paint a lot, which has been really nice. Because one of her things was just put some paint on the model, and if you don't like it, you can go back and do it again. Like, in reality, the doing of the hobby is the enjoyment, right? Like, that's me kind of like getting stuck into it, which is kind of why the grots exist in a weird way. The grots exist because when you tell someone who plays the game that you have a bucket load of grots, all they want to do is tell you how to kill them, and you're like, they're toughness 2, but a 6+ armor save. They don't have an invulnerable save, and they're leadership 4. Like,
Just sneeze on them.
exactly, you sneeze on them, one of them dies, and there's a 50-50 chance that they fail rather than another 6 run away. Like, it's they are very easy to kill. Although, when you try and get people to do 700 of them, we'll see how easy it is then. But so you guys, so obviously you haven't had a chance to really play yet properly, so to speak. Is that something you're kind of looking forward to, kind of engage with the gaming community? Do you think you're going to kind of be more on the hobby side of things, or do you think you're
I
kind
want
of...
to focus on playing.
Yeah.
Really focus.
I'm very much the same.
I do have a local gaming store, but it's a bit of a weird one because it's 90% focus on airsoft, and then the Warhammer.
I remember you saying. Yeah.
Yeah, but they are doing up their second floor to actually just be an actual proper gaming store with tables. So I can't wait for that.
That's really cool. Especially did you guys shoot in yesterday? We were talking about kind of tournament play and stuff. I can't remember.
Yeah.
How are you? Are you inspired to go and win a tournament?
Yeah, at some point. I want to get some games against a couple of friends under my belt first.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. How about you, Moku? Sorry, how about you, Velas?
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in playing. It's a bit weird, at the moment because it's just all hobby focused, pretty much. I've played some stuff on Tabletop Simulator, and I think that's another thing that was a bit of a surprise to me is when I started actually playing it. Things just didn't quite work the same way that I thought they would. I'd have this unit, I think those guys are going to absolutely destroy that unit over there, and then I roll crap and nothing happens, and then they roll well and kill all my marines. I'm like, oh man.
But who have you been playing on Tabletop Sim?
Just a friend from school from sixth form,
cool.
who I sent him a message on Facebook Messenger, a picture of Indomitus, and I've gone, oops, what have I done? The back of the Sisters of Battle box. Yeah, I've got it as well.
Sisters box. Now, to be fair, Sisters cheat. That is quite a shelf of opportunity. Do you want to post that picture, Moki?
Yeah, sure. Just as I said, I have an Astraeus coming, but it's in customs at the moment.
So what I'm hearing here is, yeah, I know there's a lot of stuff, but don't judge too harshly because there's an Astraeus coming as well.
It's
Yeah.
going to get even worse.
Don't judge too much. It's good. Yeah. To be fair, I've been to the Media Commodore's house, and there's just a wall of projects waiting to be done at some point.
Yeah.
Let me drop this in, just because it's this might be given
That's Dan tape on me, by the way.
given how little you've played, by which I mean not at all, which is not your fault. You know, there's a pandemic. What we're going to do about it? That is possibly some of the most stuff I've seen on the shelf for someone who has never played a game ever. There you go, everybody. Judge Moku with me. That is quite. It is quite a pile of opportunity. Right.
I mean, something is built. I mean, look, there's my Redemptor and
I-
the Repulsor, you know.
Yes, and easy to build Redemptor, they say. Does it count? And unless you're playing Ultramarines, well, I mean, if you leave it blue, people are going to think you're an Ultramarine, and I'll say no more.
Oh, it's a blue chapter, a successor chapter of Ultramarine or Blood Angels. I mean, totally.
Just paint the hand red, and then suddenly, oh, you've got Crimson Fists.
Yeah. I think that's you always see these really funny things because as kind of tournaments progress and as armies change, you see. So we used to see about a year and a half ago a lot of blue and gold Iron Hands who are Iron Hand successors, who had Greek symbols on their shoulder to represent their resoluteness. That happens quite a lot. Have you? So last question before we go, because I'm conscious I'm terrible at ending these things. How so? Like, have you been getting involved in the lore? Kind of, you know, the ideas of the memes behind everything. I know it seems kind of silly, but there's so much of it that seems to be kind of meme and lore heavy. Is that something you've been getting into? You know, are you fans of the lore?
Yeah, like I've read books before in the past.
All right,
played
shelf.
Dawn of War, that kind of stuff.
I've read books too, and what?
Yeah, it's there's just so much of it.
There is a lot.
Like where to begin, and you know, there's all of the kind of painting stuff that I've consumed on YouTube, and then there's the other branch of it of all these things that people have done explaining all the various bits of lore. It's just forever and ever expanding.
Yes.
And then like I started playing, like, hang on a minute, I'm not in the 41st millennium anymore as well. I'm confused. What's going on?
Yeah, we've progressed, unfortunately, and this is it. So if you do like the lore stuff, anything written by Dan Abnett, beautiful. Eisenhorn and Ravener, Story about some Inquisitors, amazing. Do read them. Gaunt's Ghosts, again, fantastic. But again, yeah, they're all characters. It's like, it's the 40th millennium. You're like, wow, this is 2,000 years out of date now. These people are dead. How about you, Moku? That's right, Velas. Moku. Getting confused now. Sorry.
Yeah, I really do like the lore, and like the memes are occasionally funny, just not when they're like spammed constantly, you know.
Yeah, you see a lot of the same ones go around a lot.
Yeah, which I think mainly can we like he's an innovator, yes, but we can also put the blame on Alpha Busa, if the Emperor had a text to speech, because that's where most of the
Yes.
jokes come from.
Yes. Which, if the Empire had text to speech, is surprisingly lore accurate. It's a really good way to learn all the old 30k lore, because it is.
Yeah.
There are obviously jokes in there, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of very surprisingly accurate lore in there.
Yeah, I'm just glad he hasn't memed the Blood Angels to death outside of one small
Yet.
Christmas special he did.
I know what you mean. There's a lot of cool lore. You don't need to waste it with lame memes.
Yeah.
What's your favourite bit of lore you guys have read so far?
I think just I never thought about it until recently, but like the fact that Dorn and Sanguinius were quite good friends, you know, because their armies complement each other quite well, you know.
Yeah.
Like, so that's why I want to focus on an Imperial Fist on in the list in the future, so I can bring like the detachment of, you know, Imperial Fist, just for fun, you know, for fluff, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Imperial Fist going up.
It's kind of really nice.
Their brothers or meet them.
Have you delved much into the Horus Heresy lore, or is that a step that you're yet to take?
Kind of. I've listened to. There's a YouTuber called Baldermore. I don't know if anyone's heard of him. He does really good stuff about 40k lore, and I pretty much basically listen to 3 hours of Dorn's life and then 3 hours about Horus Heresy.
Fair. It's it's a good story to us, but very long. It's like 45 books
Yeah.
long. It's hard to get into.
I've just started reading Horus Rising.
They're a really good series of books. My only gripe with them is that I'm very impressionable when it comes to armies. So I will read a book and it'll be all about Thousand Suns. I'm like, cool, I'm going to do a Thousand Suns army. And because there's not kind of there's a consistent story going in the background. There's not kind of very much consistent narrative in terms of like same characters. A lot. So I kind of end up being like, cool, maybe I'll do a pre-heresy Death Guard army. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do Wild Eaters. Do you know what I really love? Ultramarines. I'm very impressionable. So what about you?
That's the thing with the plastic crack, isn't it? It all looks so cool. And even with Space Marines, there are so many cool chapters. So you could, theoretically have so many armies just within one faction.
And let's not be unfair to the other chapters. There are lots of cool chapters. There's also Ultramarines, so there's a lot of variety.
Yeah.
Zing. Welcome to 40k. If you don't dunk on Ultramarines, you get your card revoked. It's a shame because the Ultramarines are actually very cool, but they are. Ultramarines are the equivalent of being forced to study Shakespeare at school. By the time that you kind of want to get involved in it seriously, you've seen it all to death. And you're kind of like, ugh. But so go on.
I was just saying, I've done my tithe to Ultramarines. I've painted one Marine.
You've contributed your Marine.
Yep. I don't ever have to touch them again.
Yeah. I mean,
I will at some point.
Maybe if you do that Deathwatch army you were talking about, maybe you can have an Ultramarine there somewhere.
Yeah. I have a couple of ideas. I kind of want a few 500-point armies of Soul Drinkers and White Panthers.
That'd be cool.
Deathwatch.